it and the slow truck, who was actually going faster than the truck in front of me with the out-of-state license plates, who kept brake checking me at 45 miles an hour on a 55 mile an hour completely dry and non-curvy section of highway. I wish I had some form of authority over idiots like that. I would install a dash cam just to prove that this is what they did, if I could indeed have some authority over them. And, you know, whether it be send the video to the authorities, you know, state troopers, and have a state trooper explain to them that, you know, that's reckless endangerment. Yeah. That's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It should not be legal, or, yeah, there you go, because you got to make a dang law, because, and it doesn't matter if you make the laws, because someone's going to break the laws, because that's what everyone does. The law only applies when you get caught. And I'm sorry, I've lived in this world long enough to know that is the majority thought process, and if you don't admit it, you're a liar, or you are so deep in denial that you have literally lied and fooled yourself. I mean, I can own it. Heck yeah, I'm exactly that person. If you know, I'm angel on one shoulder, devil on the other, realizing that both the angel and the devil are me. Lord, at least I'm not that deep in denial. Anyway, and nonetheless, I did manage to finally pass both of them and have continued on my way just in gratitude, because this is where I get to spend the rest of my life. And this will not be completely melted. This will. That won't. This will be melted by July. Crocuses should be, yeah, as soon as all of this on the side melts, that's where the crocuses will grow, because it stays like a little pond-like environment for a while, very marshy. Because, you know, you don't want to step off into that snow if you don't have like 5-foot legs. See the fence line? See how it's almost buried? That fence line keeps in a cow. That's how high up on it. Yeah, the cow's head would be just barely over the fence. So that's how deep that snow is. And you can see it varies, because you never know where that drift is, and that drift is the one that you will sink up to your chin in. I learned that when I visited Fort Collins way back in the 80s. I think it was still the 80s. Anyway, when I was traveling with a photographer and trying to save my house so that I could keep a home for my children and bring them back into a loving environment versus the forced. Yes, I forced their father. I forced him. My kids hate me for it, or hated me. I don't know if they still do. I don't know. Neither of them have time for me. So I thought I'd just do like a total share to anyone who might possibly be interested or give a shit. And that's kind of my attitude for today, because you know, I'm letting go of the world. That's what I do when I come out here. All that stuff gets dumped. I don't carry that burden with me out here. This is my sanctuary. The Creator that gave me the breath of life in the first place, thanks to my parental unit's genetic skin suit, but that little spark, that little divine spark inside of me that grows and dims based on my choices in life. That's what does it. That's the trigger. Choices. Free will choice. Based, and this was the thing, see, everything that I agreed to was based on serving a quote-unquote God of unconditional love and the hybrid Nephilim son, by reputation, bloodlines, miracles, etc., etc., etc. You know, all of these things, these quote-unquote requirements that can never be proved and must be taken on faith, blind faith, nonetheless, which, for me, blind faith is equivalent to ignorance. Look at this little snow white cow that is taking a poop. I was going to take a picture of it, but I don't think I want that picture. Anyway, she's going to have some little white babies. Maybe. But anyway, nonetheless, bottom line is this. When I became a Christian, my agreement was that I was indeed now the adopted daughter of the Most High God, future bride of His perfect Son, who would love me with pure love, in which would cast out all fear, because that's the promise made. The promise was unfulfilled. Just as all of the human husbands, and I say all of the because I attempted to have one more than once. That was my ultimate goal, because I was a brainwashed Southern female. The most important thing in life was finding someone who loved you, getting married, and, you know, making the commitment till death. All but one are still alive. That means two. But technically, I was also, you know, because spiritually, any man who ever lived under my roof with me in a committed relationship, yeah, that was essentially, I mean, that's all marriage has ever been to me. A committed, not legal, not binding, not contractual, not this bullshit that I'm constantly seeing disguising itself as two people in love and making a lifetime commitment, including myself. I knew the first one was bullshit. I did it because it was quote unquote the right thing to do in the Christian world, because I didn't want to have my child growing up being called a bastard. Because yes, back when I was impregnated out of wedlock, babies were still called bastards. I'm pretty sure they're still called bastards today. It's just that no one ever really thinks about it because it has become much more commonplace. And unfortunately, when it comes to the human collective whole, that's the requirement for actual changing in a mindset. A new mindset simply has to become just as comfortable as the old one in order to replace it. But that's how change happens. You have to make the old system obsolete. And in order to do that, you have to change the human mindset. How people think as a collective whole, which is no easy task. Ask anyone in management. Managing humans is a tough job, and you earn every dime you make, because regardless of who screws up what, it's your head under the guillotine at the end of the day. And I'm sorry, I think that should include parents. You made a baby, that baby's your responsibility, no one else's.